very clear.
Yes, yes, you
Yeah,
can.
very clear.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Moses Olago, can you hear? Okay, yeah. Thank you. All right, so good evening, everyone, once again, and welcome to this session. The theme for today's workshop is personal branding. And it's not surprising that it's the first workshop we're carrying out this year. Earlier on the year, we ran a survey on our new intakes, and we had some amazing results. For those of us who are external stakeholders of Rome Business School Nigeria, it would be glad to let you know that all the people you have seen in the house are all executive master students of Rome Business School Nigeria. We have master programs across international human resources management. We have executive MBA. We have marketing and communications, master program in agribusiness management, master program in data science, and master program in marketing and sales. We have other master programs coming up, which we're going to start in March and in October. We also have our DBA coming up soon. Well, in the house also, we have the country director, Dr. Humphrey Akanazu. I also bring you greetings from the founder, Professor Antonio Ragusa. I'm sure we'll all, before the end of the session, if they're not here already, we'll have the opportunity to interact with each and every one of these personalities. And also in the house, we have our faculty members, we have the alumni community. Idonyesit, who just spoke, is the part of the alumni exco. We have all these people present in the house. And so, as I earlier mentioned, we have our intakes twice in a year, March and October. So there was a survey we ran earlier on the year with the October batch, the October 2020 batch, and we had some amazing results. So 55.9% of the students work in external organizations, 13% are self-employed, 25.5% they work in external organizations and they own their own businesses, while a whole 49% of these students are unemployed and seeking employment opportunities. And of course, the reason we know it's not too far-fetched. We ran an employment report last year, and the rate of unemployment was pretty negligible. It's surprising that if we have about 49, that's about 50% of the students are actually unemployed and seeking unemployment opportunities. So it's actually a call for action, and not just that, while 35.3% prefer we organize workshops that will advance their career, 19.6% prefer events that will help them have a career change. So we have the students also looking for workshops like this so that they would understand themselves better, how to brand themselves better, how to write their CVs better, how to project themselves better, how to manage interviews better. And so we've considered all of these, and we decided to have this very first workshop of the year, personal branding. I think I'm speaking too much. Let me introduce the moderator to us. He is Mr. Moses Olagoke. Mr. Moses is the HR manager of Greater Washington Capital. He's also an international human resources management student of Rome Business School, Nigeria. Mr. Moses, the floor is yours. You can just have the floor and let's start the session. Thank you very much. My name is Ngozi Odukwe. I am the head of career services and alumni relations of Rome Business School, Nigeria.
All right, thank you for that, Ngozi. As she has rightly introduced, my name is Moses. I hope I'm very audible to everyone. Hello?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Hey.
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah,
Okay.
we can hear you.
Thank you, everyone.
Can hear you.
So, like we know that what we are doing is about personal brand positioning. And I make bold to say that to brand yourself, it's better you brand yourself for the career you want and not the job you have, because your job is just going to be for a period of time while your career is forever. Your job is not a lasting one. You can spend 5 years, you can spend 10 years, even you can spend 20 years at the job. But at the end of it all, you will leave one day and you are going to be left with your career. So that is why when you are branding yourself, so what you are focusing on is your career and not the job. You can change your job at any time, even if you are still going to maintain your career progression. So, and that is why it is very essential that in branding, I feel that branding your career is far better than branding your job. And your personal brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. I think we need to remember that. So whatever, the way you carry yourself, what you show about yourself, what people see, it's going to last long when you are not in the room. And that's what is going to set the tone of discussion. I'm not going to do the discussion. I will leave the facilitator to do the discussion. So, but before I leave, I'm going to introduce our facilitator for today, and she's no other person than Fiyin Toyo. Fiyin is the East and West Africa Marketing Manager, Sensodyne at GlaxoSmithKline Consumer Healthcare, with responsibility for Nigeria, Kenya, Mauritius, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Madagascar, Ghana, and Gambia. Fiyin's experience straddles across brand management, innovation, digital marketing, and recruitment across Africa and Europe, gained through managing world-class brands. Like we all know, GlaxoSmithKline is a world-class brand. Fiyin is being featured on the Y Niger Power List for Corporate Nigeria twice and was nominated for the renowned The Future Awards Africa Prize in the Professional Service category for excellence and impact in the corporate world. Fiyin is a seasoned speaker who's spoken at many industry conferences and networks across Nigeria, Kenya, Turkey, Pakistan, and the UK. Having started a career in the recruitment industry, Fiyin is an avid believer in the power of knowledge transfer, and helping people rise to become the best they can be. She was therefore inspired to start Empower You, an emerging enterprise that trains and equips individuals with employability skills and tools they need for the future of work so they can truly excel in the workplace. In her spare time, she's an adrenaline junkie and enjoys traveling. And I can tell you of a fact that as of today, she has traveled to 29 countries and she's not resting, so she's still counting. So I'm handing over to no other person than our facilitator for today, Fiyin Toyo. Over to you, please.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Mr. Alagoki, for that. That was such an amazing introduction. Super grateful. And thanks to the faculty of the school, the students, everyone for having me. I'm super grateful for the opportunity to be here. And I'm definitely very excited. I can see so many participants in the room, about almost 40 people. So this is quite amazing. So well done to the team for putting together such an inspirational and amazing event. Even though it's virtual, but we're happy and we're looking forward to it. Okay, so I'm going to kick off now. If you don't mind, it would be nice just to know who we have in the room. I'm not a teacher, I'm a facilitator. So I facilitate conversations, and I'm somebody that's very engaging and very talkative. So I'd like to get to know some of us in the room. So if you can just give me a shout, what's your name, what you're studying, just a little bit about yourself and what you want to get out of this session. So we don't have much time, to be specific, I don't think I have a lot of time today. I've only got about 60 minutes, so we're going to power through and get the most out of this. So the way I will run this session today is that I will take you through a bit of a journey. I hope everybody can hear me. I hope everybody can hear me properly,
Yes.
and there's no interruption.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So I'll take us through a bit of a journey, and then at the end of my session, we'll do a Q&A. All right. So let's move on. As Mr. Lagoke has said, I'm founder and lead trainer at Empower You Career Consulting. I also work at GlaxoSmithKline. Okay, so I'm going to flip through very quickly a few slides. We're going to be talking about, just as the flyer had mentioned, LinkedIn. So building your personal brand on LinkedIn. Your CV is one of your tools for building a personal brand, but also how to excel when you go for an interview face to face. So we're trying to unlock growth within our careers by building our personal brand. So are you in the right place? I'll say yes, if you are. And Mr. Olagoke has done a good job of introducing me. But one thing I want to say is that I'm a marketer, which means that I build brands and I project brands. So I've worked on some of the world's leading brands, but also I help people build their personal brands. I started off my career in the recruitment company within the industry in 2007. So I'm very well versed on how to build a personal brand. Now, in terms of getting your dream job, there are a couple of steps that go with this. Okay. And this is just a few. And we're going to be talking about LinkedIn, CVs, and interviews today when it comes to building a personal brand. Okay, so let's kick off today. LinkedIn is no longer your online resume, it's your digital reputation. This was said by Joe Wally. And what does this mean? Let me explain. When I started using LinkedIn back in 2011, which is 10 years ago, it felt like an online CV, okay? The way LinkedIn was then was almost like, hey, instead of keeping your CV in your inbox or your laptop, you can as well upload your CV online, okay, and get recruited. Does that make sense? But today, that's not what LinkedIn is all about. LinkedIn has over 500 million users, all right? Over 500 million users across 200 countries. And LinkedIn is not just used to get jobs, but it's also used to build your profile, to build your personal brand. It is your online reputation. And let me break this down further. When a lot of companies are recruiting, they check LinkedIn for candidates. Even if you applied outside of LinkedIn, they will still go to LinkedIn to check what you're all about. Companies headhunt on LinkedIn not just because of your experience, but also because of what you have put out, the sort of content that you have put out on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is super important, right? And I'm about to share with you why I'm very passionate about LinkedIn and why we all need to take it seriously. Over the last 10 years that I've used LinkedIn, I've received more than 100 job opportunities on LinkedIn. I work at GlaxoSmithKline today, which is a multinational. But before this, I used to work at Guinness Nigeria, and I got that job through LinkedIn. All right, companies like PZ, Cousins, Junior, Coca-Cola, Samsung have reached out to me, offered me jobs, offered me interviews through this channel called LinkedIn. I've also received job offers from England, from the UAE through LinkedIn. Like I said, my very first job at a multinational in 2014 was acquired because of this platform called LinkedIn. And I say this all the time. When I explain to people that I got my first job through LinkedIn, people believe that I saw a vacancy and applied. No, that's actually not what happened. The HR manager at Guinness checked my profile out and sent me a message to say she's interested in recruiting someone like me. And that is how the journey started. LinkedIn, because my LinkedIn profile was very updated. Okay, and that's my story. And I have a screenshot of this here. I have a screenshot of the message that I received because I want us to leave this session inspired. I want us to leave this session with clarity. Okay. I want us to leave inspired and I want us to feel like we can do it. If you look at the left-hand corner of my screen, this is May 27, 2014. This is the message that I got from the recruiting manager, the resourcing manager for Guinness back in 2014. And I started working in Guinness 1st of December 2014. If you look at the other part of my screen, you see other messages, right? Greetings from India. You can see a message from somebody from, PZ. You can see a message from Samsung. These are all messages that I got through LinkedIn by having a well-updated profile. And that is why I want to encourage you today that you need to take LinkedIn very, very seriously. Okay. So what's my story? Are you ready to hear my story? I'm going to cut my story very, very short because of time. All right. But just to summarize, I will say this. My very first job in 2007 was at a call center, market research call center. Okay. And I would have to call lots of businesses and individuals to run surveys with them over the phone. And they used to be very annoyed because you're a pest calling them when they're at home with their family or when they're doing business. And I realized that I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to work at the call center. I wanted more for myself. And so I wanted to become a brand manager. Long story short, I started, I did a few roles in recruitment, in PR, but in 2012, I ended up in Lagos and I got a I got a job offer for a small company. I had two options: a small marketing firm, or let me call it advertising company, and a very big advertising company. If I mention that company, most of us in this room will know that company. So I had the option of those two. Okay. And I chose to go for the small marketing company because a mentor of mine told me that going to that small company, because there's very, very few staff in the company, that they would have to give me work that would stretch me. But that if I move to that big company, I may not get the opportunity to do groundbreaking work. That they might just be sending me to photocopy things, to file this and file that. And that is exactly what played out. When I moved to the small company from the very first day, they gave me projects to work on, projects like MTN, Coca-Cola, and so on. But I want to share with you two specific stories out of this. The first one being that when I resumed at this company on the 6th of December 2012, one of my colleagues had gone on leave to return in January. And so they briefed me that I would be working on the Coca-Cola account, managing Fanta, but that this colleague works on a telco account. And I can even mention it, it's called MTN. So because he's going away for 2 weeks, I will have to cover for him for that 2 week period. But once he gets back, I shouldn't worry, he will take the MTN account back from me. Now, in the 2 weeks that I worked on this MTN account, which was actually 6th of December to 21st of December, so about 15 days, I came on, I did a brainstorm with my MD. We came up with a fantastic idea. We proposed it to MTN, we presented it to them. And as part of it, I said, what does MTN care about? MTN cares about revenue. And I was very young then, let me develop a revenue projection model that we can show MTN that if we do X, this is the amount MTN will make. If we do Y, this is the amount MTN will make. My boss said, okay, go ahead, do it. I did it, I showed him. I was like, oh, excellent. When MTN came to our office, I showed them how the model works, how the template works. They were impressed. Guess what happened? When we resumed back from work in January, on the very first day that we resumed from work, my boss called me and said, the MTN people want you to stay on the account, okay? But they don't want the account to return to the person that was managing it before. What does that tell you? That tells you that even in a 2 week period, by my diligence, I was able to win over the client, right, and make a name for myself. Now, the message I'm trying to pass here is that part of building your personal brand is understanding that every little opportunity that you have with somebody, a lecturer, a speaker, a mentor, a client, an employer, it doesn't matter who, every little opportunity you have with somebody is an opportunity for you to leave your corporate fragrance with them. It's an opportunity for you to leave your corporate trademark and your personal brand with them. They told me I was going to work on this for 2 weeks, but I worked on that project until my very last day at that company because of what I showed them in 2 weeks. So what I'm trying to tell you today is that I know many of us, when we get these projects, we say, how much are they even paying me? At that point in time, let me tell you, my salary was 60,000 naira. It wasn't a lot for me. I was a master's holder, right? Prior to that, I was working in England and I was earning thousands of pounds every month. So to come back to Nigeria and for them to pay you 60K was nothing. All right. So I could have said, how much are they even paying me? What's all this, Joe? I beg, I beg, I beg, I beg. But I didn't say that. And that is the attitude that I find that many of us have. Okay. Now, me doing that helped me to have MTN as a client, which meant that the work that I was doing on MTN is what I was now able to put on my LinkedIn profile to project myself. So always look out for these opportunities where you can do more work and do groundbreaking work. Okay. Through that, when I started updating the information that I had, the project that I had with MTN and with Coca-Cola, that is how Guinness Nigeria saw my profile and said, wow, we want a piece of this. Okay. So always look for opportunities where you can give more of yourself. Now let's go back into what we're going to do on LinkedIn. Now, a picture is worth 1,000 words. I'm sure we can see, and I like to be very practical. I'm sure we can see that both of these images are me, okay? Now, the first picture, I've seen people post this sort of picture on LinkedIn, okay? Which one do you think is more appropriate? The picture on top or the picture at the bottom? Please, I want to know. Please, let's speak. I'm not seeing any messages in the chat. Okay, are we there?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we are here. The one at the bottom, I will go for.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the
One at the bottom.
The one at the bottom.
Fantastic.
Yes.
But I'm sure we can testify that we have seen such pictures on top. This picture on top, I can put it on WhatsApp. I can put it on Instagram. So we have no place on LinkedIn. Do we agree? Or you see many people do this on LinkedIn. Some people, some people will even travel to France or travel anywhere, even to Benin, and they will take a picture, a tourist picture, and put it on LinkedIn, or a selfie, or a picture with their friends in the background. Totally inappropriate. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Let me tell you the first rule of LinkedIn. Your profile is most likely to be clicked on when you have a picture, and not just a picture, but a professional picture. Even this picture, this month or next month, February, sorry, I'm going to be updating my picture, okay, to something that is much more in tune with what's going on. But my tip to you today and my advice is that please and please, many of us don't have pictures on LinkedIn. You are not a ghost, okay? Get a picture and put it on LinkedIn, a professional picture where you are dressed in corporate attire. And you don't have to spend loads of money on this. I always say this when I have a webinar. This picture was taken here downstairs in my kitchen by a friend. You can take a picture with your phone in corporate attire and upload that on LinkedIn. Don't be a ghost that does not have a picture. Next thing, use a punchy headline. Okay, I'm a marketing manager at GSK. My headline, and I know that many of us here are guilty, can simply be marketing manager at GSK, but that's not the way I would advise you to do it. And let me break this down for you. We don't have much time, but let me break this down. Number one, why are you on LinkedIn? Because you're looking for better opportunities, right? You're looking for better scholarships or job opportunities, okay? So let me put it this way to you. Do we have anybody in HR here? If you are in HR and you're looking for an HR job, what will the recruiter search for when they're looking for you or looking for an HR role? They will search for HR manager, possibly human resources manager, HR business partner, possibly recruitment and resourcing manager. Okay. So what this means is if your current role is a resourcing manager, and that is all you have put on your LinkedIn account, if the recruiter is looking for HR manager, you may not show up because you haven't put it in your headline. Am I speaking? I need to make sure we are clear.
Yes, yeah.
We hear you clearly. We hear you very clearly.
Wonderful. Let me break this down
So
further.
you are communicating.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the feedback. Let me break this down further and say this. In some companies, we all know what sales managers are, right? Sales manager. Okay, good. In most companies, that role is called area sales manager. But in some companies, they love fancy names. They can call it territory development manager. In GSK, we used to call that role district development manager. Okay. So when you go and put district development manager as your headline on LinkedIn, when a recruiter is searching for a sales manager, he would simply search for sales manager. You will not come up. Does that make sense? So you need to optimize your headline to something that is punchy and that covers all the synonyms, all the nuances for your own industry. I am a marketing manager, okay? I've also included that I am chartered, all right? Some marketing managers handle innovation. I handle innovation, so I put it there, innovation. In some businesses, they can call it brand development lead or manager. So I put brand management. I put every title that I believe covers me for the roles that I'm looking for. So that's my tip to you. You need to put something that is punchy, but also something that is all encompassing. Okay. Now you need something. The next point, number 3, you need what I call end of discussion bio. You know what I call end of discussion bio? If you're going to search for somebody on LinkedIn for a vacancy that you have 2 options. You can search for, or 3 options. You can search for somebody. Maybe I can see somebody called, okay, Monday Okorie. I can search for Monday Okorie's profile. And I see, okay, this profile is not bad. Let me put him here. Let me shortlist him and see what will happen. I can search for another person's profile. Let's say their name is Habibat Caleb. And I see, no, I don't want Habibat. Then I see another person, and the person's name is Mickey. And I'm like, wow, this profile is great. Sorry? When are you available for an interview? That's what you call an end of discussion profile. There's a profile where they can ask you, please send your CV. There's the one where they will reject you, and there's the one where they say, when are you available for an interview? That's what you call end of discussion. There's no need, I don't need to see anything more. Just somewhere you're available for an interview. And to be able to achieve that, I can probably say that my LinkedIn profile, when recruiters reach out to me for roles, over 95% of those that reach out to me for roles say, when are you available for the interview? Only about 5% is still okay. Let me see your CV first. And what I've done with my bio is simply a summary of myself, my past, present, and future. Okay? So I've done a summary of myself, which talks about like a top line summary that tells you that, okay, I've got over 10 years experience in marketing across XYZ industries. And I also indicate that my goal is to become a general manager. And then I have a list of my achievements, right, that I've gotten over the last couple of years, as well as key projects that I've worked on. That's what you call an end of discussion bio. My name is Fiyin Toyo. You can check me out on LinkedIn to see what my bio looks like. The next thing I want to tell you about LinkedIn, which a lot of us fail to do, is that we do not complete our profile on LinkedIn. And let me explain what this means. You can put your current role, for example, marketing manager at GSK. But before this, what was I? You need to include all of that. You need to include your achievements. You need to include your education, your skills, and so much more. And can I tell you why you need to do that? If your profile is not complete, there's something that we call is all-star profile. If you check your LinkedIn profile, I'll show you that later. But if you don't have an all-star profile, your visibility will be reduced, okay? And I'll share a screenshot of what that looks like so that we have clarity. But moving forward, we need to talk about skills. We are now in a skills-based economy, okay? And what this means is that people want to know what skills you have. Forget your education, forget your qualifications. You need to know what are you good at. So what I see a lot of people do, you want to get a job in procurement and your skills, you're writing Microsoft Excel, you're writing first aid, you're writing rapid response. What does that have to do with a job in procurement? Absolutely nothing. So pick the soft and hard skills that relate to the job that you want. If you're in finance, you need to talk about data analytics, you need to talk about profit and loss management, bookkeeping, okay? If you are in marketing, you need to talk about your creativity, your innovation, stuff like that. As a marketing person, there's no need for me to talk about first aid when it comes to my skills, okay? So let's keep things streamlined and get endorsed for your skills. The best way to get endorsed for your skills is to endorse other people. And part of getting endorsements is getting references, right? When you have references on your profile, it shows you are not a ghost. And the fact that it's so time consuming to go out and write LinkedIn references, LinkedIn recommendations for people. So when people see that, oh, this person has recommendations on their LinkedIn profile, it means that you are incredible for somebody to take that time out to come and deliver a reference for you. So please go out there and get LinkedIn references. The best way to do this, again, do one for the person first. It's called Do Me, I Do. I like to be very real. When you write a reference for somebody, they're most likely obliged. You can send them and say, hey, have you seen the reference that I wrote for you? I wouldn't mind one as well. So this is what I was talking about when I said all-star profile. Okay? If you look at this, this is a snapshot from my LinkedIn dashboard. After the about, which is your summary of yourself, I have a section called featured. Many of us don't use this section. I advise you to use it. This is where you can add your awards, your projects, your speaking engagement, anything about yourself that will add value to the employer, that gives them more information, more value about you. You add it here. It's called featured. Now, under featured, or if you don't have featured, under your about, there's something called your dashboard, private to you. Okay, here you can see the number of people that have viewed my profile in the last week. You can see the number of post views, the number of search appearances I have appeared in, and then you can see all-star. This all-star means that I have completed, it doesn't mean that I'm the best on LinkedIn. It simply means that I have completed every section that I need to complete on LinkedIn. This all-star means that I am 40 times more likely to be found. So you can see this 3,000 people viewed your profile. If not for all-star, just divide this by 40, okay? Which is not a lot, which will be about 70 views or so, if I'm correct, all right? So bear that in mind. So please complete every section of your profile. If you don't see this all-star, it means your profile is not complete. So go back to complete everything and you get this all-star, which means you have increased visibility to help you project this personal brand we're talking about. Now, let me just share something. A lot of people don't know how LinkedIn metrics work. This number here, 3007, is the number of people that have viewed my profile. Very self-explanatory. 2078, this is the 2,000 people that have viewed my most recently shared post. Now, 893, this is the one that confuses people. Let me explain what this 893 is. This search appearances. This means that when recruiters were searching for marketing manager, brand manager, category manager, business manager, and so on and so forth, I appeared in 893 searches, which means that the keywords I have used on my profile are working. There was a time that my search appearances was 8. There was a time it was 80. But today, I get close to 1,000 search appearances every week. And it's a combination of all the things that I have done in terms of completing my LinkedIn profile, putting relevant information, using the right keywords, using the right skills, and making sure that my headline matches what people are searching for. So this is what you really need to do. All right. Now, in the case when you're looking for a job, which I believe many of us will be doing, because I heard the statistics that were reeled out, you can stay updated. How many of us are aware of job preferences on LinkedIn? This is a tool that allows you to shortlist and tell LinkedIn the kind of roles that you are looking for. So, for example, you can tell LinkedIn that you are looking for IT roles, software engineering roles, tech roles in Lagos, in Abuja, in UAE, and in Canada. You can tell LinkedIn exactly what you want. You can even include your mobility, your geographical mobility. The next step to this, once you tell LinkedIn, you can now set alerts and tell LinkedIn, look, any job that matches this my search, this my preference criteria, send me an alert via email. I get LinkedIn alerts every day, okay? And I can even share with you some of the interviews I've even attended in the past. Let me be honest with you. I've attended an interview. Let me give you an example. This is a good example. I put in a LinkedIn job alert. The LinkedIn job alert came to my, I said anything within category manager and so on and so forth. The LinkedIn alert came to my post, came to my email address, and I saw it and I applied. Okay. 3 days later, I got invited for an interview. This has happened countless times, not just to me, but to many people. Also include your contact details on LinkedIn. The reason why, you know what? Human beings are human beings. I will tell you that. And we know this. Sometimes, most companies, when they want to recruit people, have you noticed? Have you noticed what happens when you're going through the recruitment? They want you to resume when? Now. So sometimes, the person cannot even wait to send you an email. They just want to, the person cannot wait for you to respond to your LinkedIn message. They may want to email you directly or call you. So always ensure at least you have one personal contact information on your LinkedIn profile. I don't like to put my mobile number on LinkedIn, but I put my email address. Okay, and this has saved me many times because many HR personnel have reached out to me directly via email concerning vacancies. Okay, now this is the job preferences I was talking about, and this is mine. There's nothing for me to hide. Let me show you. Okay, so this is an example of what I did with mine. I told LinkedIn, these are the titles I'm interested in: marketing manager, category manager, head of marketing, and I told them the location, the UK and Nigeria. Okay, and I told them what I'm looking at: full-time and remote. And you can also include your start date. Is it immediately? Are you flexible? You know what's going on. Based on this, I now can create job alerts for anything that matches this criteria. Okay, so that's how you can stay updated. Now, how do you stand out on LinkedIn in terms of building your personal brand? There are a couple of things. I already mentioned featured. Under your featured, do you have any publications that you've written? Add them. Do you have interesting projects that you've worked on? Include it in your featured profile. Do you have awards, right, that you have received? Include them. I have received, if you look behind me, you see some awards behind me on my bookshelf. Many, I don't have all of them here, and I don't have all of them on LinkedIn, but I've put some of them on LinkedIn. I've received 21 awards since I've been in GSK for the last 4 years. Many of them are on LinkedIn. Any award that you have, put it out there. It will help you to stand out and build your brand. This is my own example. For example, I received Career Influencer Awards, which is an Africa-wide award. I put it there. I had a chat with a magazine. It's there. This speaking engagement that I've had with Rome Business School, I will put it there as well, because that is an achievement for me. So how do you track your progress on LinkedIn? Today, before you decide to make your changes on LinkedIn, take note of how many profile views you have. Implement the changes and check how it is increasing. Search appearances, check that as well. Okay, and then your people also view. You need to have a look at that and track. Anytime I make changes on my LinkedIn profile, I track these metrics to ensure that I've made it right. Sometimes I can make a change and the views will decrease because it means I've tweaked something that is not working well. So you need to be measurement obsessed. And this, you see, this does not relate just to LinkedIn. Even in any job or any course you're going to study, you need to understand analytics. So you apply these analytics first to yourself on LinkedIn before you can even apply it in the job that you want. I want to talk very quickly about people also viewed. If you go to my profile today on LinkedIn, there is something you will see. You will see next, if you're checking on a mobile device, you see it at the bottom, but if you're checking on a laptop or desktop, you see it on the right hand side. Once you click on my profile, you will see people also viewed, and you will see these people. Can you see the role that most of these people have? Please, Anna Ogunleke.
Fire. Which one is?
Okay, so you will see brand manager, marketing strategy, chief marketing officer, marketing. These are all marketing people. This means that people are viewing my profile alongside other people in my industry, which is wonderful. It means that I'm showing up in the right places. You know, when you talk about building a product, there's you know what it's all about. There's product, price, promotion, and place. This is my own place. But if you checked now and you saw procurement, you saw medical, you saw science, lab, that means that I don't have a cohesive brand on LinkedIn. Okay. And I want to be honest with you, for some of us in this call today, when they check your profile, the next place they check is your husband or your wife's profile or your sister. Okay. And that's because it is your friends and your network that's checking you out, not recruiters. So that's not a good thing. That's something you need to take into consideration. when tracking how well you are doing, okay, with LinkedIn. So let's move on very quickly, because of time, to a few pointers around your CV. And then I'll talk about CV for a few minutes, and then I'll transition into interviews. Now, for the interview part, I'll speak for not too long, and then for the rest of, I'll leave the rest of it to Q&A. So we know what the CV is, your curriculum vitae. Now, let me ask a question, please. Somebody, I think some of us need to turn off our cameras, because please, admin, you may need to look into some people's cameras. Okay, so can I ask us, please, let's use the chat function. If you check your screen, there's somewhere where you can chat. When you send your CV to a recruiter, how many minutes or hours or seconds do they spend looking at your CV? How long do they spend scanning through your CV? If I can just get a few people to give me an indication of what they think. Because this important fact is what is
Maybe 10 minutes.
10 minutes, fantastic. Somebody said 2 minutes, somebody said 2 minutes. Thank you. Excellent. Can I have a few more guesses? This important fact is something that we need to know, because it will set the context. 5 minutes, wonderful. 2 to 4 minutes, wonderful. Okay, let me move on. This will set the context for what we're about to do now. Okay, let me tell you now. I used to be a recruiter, okay, and in one night I'll have to go through 400 CVs. And this is not, I've done my, you have office work, then they'll tell you to shortlist CVs. I used to be a manager, I used to go through CVs. The recruiter will spend about 6 seconds viewing your CV, scanning through. It's after that 6 seconds, they will now decide if they want to shortlist you or not. 6 seconds is all you have. All right? 6 seconds, not 1 minute, not 4, not 5, not 10, not 6, not 60, 6 seconds. So what does this mean? You need to make it count. Very simple. What do I need to do to make it count? Number one, tailor your CV to the role and the company. What does this mean? You are sending your CV to Cadbury. You need to ensure that that Cadbury job description, those things, those skills they want on the job description, they are in your CV. When you write your personal summary, you need to personalize it to Cadbury or to the FMCG industry, if it's Chevron oil industry. CV, I got a CV today. I was very disappointed. 5-page CV. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do with that. If you send me your 5-page CV and ask me to refer you, I will not refer you, because I know I have in quotes, I have social currency with people, and I do not want to waste favors. So I'm not going to send a 5-page CV that somebody's not going to go through. No. Your CV should be 2 pages, well laid out. Another mistake that we make, we don't know who you are and what you want. So your CV should immediately tell the hiring manager what you have to offer. Use the right language, right grammar. You should be clear, easy to read, truthful. You shouldn't have gaps on your CV, and there should be no typos. Very simple. Do you know that when you upload, how many of us, please, I want us to be very truthful today. You see a job vacancy on LinkedIn or Jobberman or whatever platform, and you apply. So when you are applying, it goes to the company website, and you upload your CV on the company website, and you have never gotten through before. Has anybody fallen into that bucket before? Never have you gotten through before. Every time you just say, we are sorry, but we did not. We are sorry, we are sorry, we are sorry. Is there anybody that is like this? You submitted your CV, you not get through. And also the opposite, where you submitted your CV and you got through. Let me tell you the truth. I used to apply for jobs, more than 10 jobs a day. And I will upload my CV on those company websites. Nobody answered. So I believe that for everybody, all 60 of us on this call, we have been applying for jobs and we've been getting them. That means we don't need there's no need for this training since we're all well equipped. But what I'll say to you is, a few years ago, I used to apply for those jobs, and it's always, we are sorry, we are sorry, we are sorry. But things changed. I now understood what that system was looking for. And I can tell you that my CV can go through any HR software that I want to go through, and it will come out and they will call me for an interview. Because I've learned certain things about HR software. Number one, most of this HR software, they are not human beings, right? So they operate using keywords. So if your CV does not have the right keywords, it will not meet. You might have the right experience, everything they ask for on the job description, but if you do not review your CV and revise it to match those keywords, then your CV will be shut out. If you have errors on your CV, some of this software, it scans for errors. So it will delete your CV. So please, let's be very careful. Okay? So let's go into the structure of our CVs. Obviously, we start with our personal information, then your personal statement, your work experience, your education, your key skills, and then your interests. So I know we know the structure of the CV, but there are a couple of things I want to share today. You need to write down for every job that you have, how many of us have achievements on our CV? So what I see with most CVs is that you write that you worked at social place, but you don't include your achievements. What did you achieve there? Remember, if you are applying for a role, let's imagine you're applying for a finance manager role at MTN. Definitely, you would have been working in finance already, and most other applicants will also have been working in finance. So how do you then differentiate yourself from the others? It is most likely through your achievements, key projects that you've worked on, awards that you've won, things that you have done that are out of the ordinary. For example, achievements could be your accuracy, achievements could be your time spent, achievements could be the fact that you're the youngest to have achieved something within your company. Okay, your achievements could be cost cutting or revenue generation. Those are achievements that you can report.
Cutting.
Okay. So this is a typical example of somebody's personal information. They put their name, address, email, phone number, LinkedIn profile, if your LinkedIn profile is good. Now, if you look at the address, it says Toyo Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. Due to data protection, I would advise that you put your full address in terms of your house number and so on. These are things that I would advise that you take off for now. Now, your personal statement. How many of us use generic personal statements? So when I look at CVs, something that is very common that I see is that people write that I'm seeking to take up employment in an organization of repute where I can positively contribute towards the business. That's generic. It doesn't mean anything. So on your personal statement, you need to outline who you are, what you are, what you have to offer, and what you're looking for. Okay? An example is this. You are a marketing manager with 8 years experience across food, beverage, and oral health. You have an indisputable hunger for advertising and marketing, and you are looking to strengthen your marketing experience at MTN Nigeria. That's an example of a personal value. You are very specific on what you are, the number of years of experience, the span of the experience, your skills, and what you want. So on my link, on my CV, I always specify I'm looking for a marketing manager role or a head of marketing role within the FMCG industry. If I know the company I'm applying to, I put it there. At Cadbury, at Mondelez, at Chevron, at Total. That is the specificity that your CV requires. Okay? Now, your work experience is the focus for experienced professionals, right? Work experience should be, I don't want to talk about certain things that I know we know, like reverse chronological order. Put your most recent experience first. I still see people with experience, 20 years experience, putting their oldest experience first. No. And use bullet points. Don't write in big, long paragraphs and sentences. Just use bullet points. List your responsibilities and your achievements. All right? Now, there are other sections within your CV, your skills, your voluntary projects, and so on. Include those. CVs for me are quite easy. So what I would like to do is focus more on the questions. But before we get to questions, let me tell you some common mistakes people make. People like to, on their CV, please, how many of us have, let's be honest, please, and let's be interactive. How many of us have included our date of birth on our CV? Or our marital status? Or our, what's the other one? State of origin, our religion. Please, how many of us have that on our CVs? Can I just know? If you have it, yes. If you don't have it, no. Please just indicate yes, no, yes, no. Even in chat. I'm waiting. Okay, somebody said I used to in the past. Yes, no, yes, no. Okay, so we have a mix of people. So let me tell you something. It is counterproductive for you to include that on your CV, okay? It can create grounds for discrimination. So please take it out. On my CV, and I'm speaking from experience, right? I've been working for the last, my work experience spans over 10 years. My first job was 2007. I've been working in July this year to make it 14 years since I've been in the corporate world. I know I look young, but let me tell you, I have never for one day had my date of birth on my CV, and I've gotten jobs at multinationals and at small companies. You don't need it. Apart from GSK, you know, I said I'm the lead coach at Empower You Career Consulting. I have a small business at SME, in fact, a micro organization. In my team, I have 8 people on my team. Today is one of my team members' birthday. I don't know his age. Yesterday, my team member in partnership, today is his birthday, I don't know his age. Yesterday was my team member in campaign management. I don't know his age. On Friday, my content, one of my content team members had birthday. I don't know their age, and I don't need to. It's none of my business. I have somebody that performs HR. She has their information when they join the organization as part of her bio data. But when you're applying to me, I don't need to know your age, whether you're married. Because guess what? The moment you tell me you're married, I can start saying, hey, these married people, no, they know how to, they always have excuses. That is just the truth. When people see that you're married, they can start saying, all these married women, I don't like to come to work early. Okay? Or married women, they like to go home very early. Or married men, don't like married men in this our office, so they're always very bossy. Or you put your date of birth and they say, this one is too old and they've not achieved enough. This one is too young. How can they want a role of a manager? Those are the biases you open yourself up to. This is an example I want to show you, a very practical example. Guys, please, I need interaction in this part of the session. This is Gladys. She's a 26-year-old business analytics professional. She's got 5 years experience in the field. Are we together? Hello, everybody. I need to make sure I'm speaking.
We are together. We are perfectly together.
We are 100% with you. We are listening very keenly.
Gladys has put her date of birth. She has put her marital status that she's single. She has put her state of origin, Imo State. She has put her local government, Okigwe, on her CV. Just like many of us in this same room. Have we seen this? Gladys is from Okigwe in Imo State. She's single. She's born in 1994, which means that now she's 27. But as of the time she applied for this job, she was 26. This is a job description. Remember, Gladys has 5 years experience. They said, business analytics manager with 4 to 5 years experience urgently required. 4 to 5 years experience, but Gladys has got 5, so she's more than qualified. Do we agree? She has the required experience. Can we agree on this? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, she has.
This is the person that is filling this role. This is the person that is looking at Gladys' CV. Her name is Madam Sarah. She is 52 years old, and her husband recently left her for a young lady who is half her age, and that lady is from Okigwe. Now she's going through Gladys' CV. Do you think that Gladys will get this job?
No.
Why not?
Never. Never.
No.
Somebody say, wahala for Gladys.
I have
Gladys will definitely take a share of her anger.
My question is this. Does this apply when applying for international jobs, for example? I mean, are they going to look at these things? Is somebody like Madam Sarah going to be there when you apply for international jobs?
Wonderful. Great question. When you say international jobs, you mean jobs outside of Nigeria?
Yes.
So when you apply for an
Are you not saying
international
this is
job,
peculiar to Nigeria?
you do not even need to put that information. So why put it? Do you understand? You don't know who is on the other side of that. On the other side of the computer. The person sees your date of birth, and the person is 52 and you're 35. And the person is threatened that, so this person will come and be doing my job with me. Trust me, I've sat down in recruitment conversations, and these are things that I hear. Do you understand? I've also heard the opposite. I've heard the opposite of 48 years old. And the people that we have here are young. How would this 48-year-old person vibe? So you don't include any of that information on your CV. Let me tell you why. First,
Okay, so this is the standard, whether Nigeria or otherwise. This is just the standard.
well, this is the standard. In the UK, I used to work in the UK. You do not put such information on your CV. When they need it, they will ask you. If they need it, they will ask you. Okay. Now, I know some funny Nigerian companies, local governments, and so on will ask you. If they ask you, fine. But if they do not ask you, you do not need to put it there. You are opening up yourself for discrimination. Let them see your CV, call you for an interview, and then impress them. At that point in time, when they find out your age or your tribe or whatnot, they are already sold. Do you understand? Okay, so just a few things, like I said, a few mistakes that we made as I bring my session to a close. The employer is only going to spend about 6 seconds on your CV. Make sure your layout is seamless. Okay, there's what you call, when you are at the airport, have you noticed when there's a long queue, they have these guides, those queue guides that help you know how you queue up. That help you navigate. You do the same thing with your CV. Use bold when you need to use bold. You are the one that you are in control of the reader. So use bold to help navigate their journey through your CV. If you don't use bold, it will be very difficult. So know the parts that you're going to underline, the double spacing, the ones that require single spacing, bullet points, and so on. Another mistake, don't be generic. Don't be generic. Your CV should match the vacancy, okay? Otherwise, it will be hard for you to get a call back. Dress your CV for the job you want, not the job you currently have. You might be in customer service, but you want a job in HR. So do the necessary training you need to have in HR. Update your CV. Talk about, within your customer service role, talk about the part that have to do with people management, and that's what you project. Don't focus on customer service, okay? Your CV should be no more than 2 pages long. And here, a mistake you make is not shooting your shot. Shoot your shot. Be very, very clear on what you want. Tell them, look at this example, looking to apply these skills within HR at Etisalat. If you don't know the company, you know the industry. So say within the telecoms industry, okay? Use chronological order. A lot of people use the wrong order, which can be very distracting for the recruiter. It's very easy to just say, well, I'll move aside. When I used to review CVs, I used to review about 400 per day. So if things are not in the right template for me, if your CV is too long, 5 pages, I move on. Out of 400 CVs, I probably only need to shortlist 4 for interview. Just 4 out of 400. What percentage is that? That is 1%. So trust me, that is 1 in 100 CVs will get through. So any small mistake is grounds for trashing your CV. Okay? A lot of us don't sell ourselves enough. You don't sell yourself enough. Include your key achievements. Don't just include your generic job responsibilities. Include your achievements. Now, I want to speak about something, being a one-hit wonder. I want to explain this. A lot of people create their CV, they develop their CV, and so the next thing that happens is that's the same CV they send out to every single vacancy. No, it doesn't work that way. Every time there's a new vacancy, take the job description and look for the skills they require on that job description. Now put those on your CV and update, okay? Look at the job description. Is it category manager? Update your CV to feature that. I know there'll be questions about this during Q&A, so I'll just wait for that. Another thing we do, we make mouth on our CV. I've seen people, and I'll give you an example. Look at this. This person has put skills, commercial finance, business strategy, business development, contract negotiation. As far as I'm concerned, as a recruiter, this is just you saying your word against mine, and I'm not going to take your word for it. Okay, you just put out a list of things. Only God knows where you got this list from. But this is better. Write the skill and now substantiate it. You can put presentation skills and explain. Gained through participation in my own business school, course seminars, and project presentations every fortnight. Sales skills. Talk about it. When I worked in retail, I was required to have product knowledge as well as ability to assess and meet customer needs. Okay? This is how your skills profile should be. It should not be a list. You pick the 5 things that are most relevant to the job you're applying to, and then you substantiate each one. Don't give irrelevant information. Some of us will put first aid, like I mentioned on our CV. You are going for procurement, you are putting a marketing training you did in 1995. It's no longer relevant. Focus on what you only have 2 pages. Make it count. I meet a lot of people that say, how do I get my CV down from 5 pages to 2 pages? When you check their CV, there's a lot of unnecessary facts. Cut the facts and focus on what is relevant. Okay? And make sure you connect with the employer. Now, of recent, you don't even need to add your list of references anymore. When it's time, they will ask for references and you can include that. Okay? So very quickly, I just want to talk through, just for about 5 minutes, key things that we need to do when going for interviews. And this is a checklist that I use anytime I'm doing an interview. Number 1, of course, you know we're going to dress professionally. But something that I do that has worked for me, my first degree was in psychology, so I'm very conscious about these type of things. When you think of Coca-Cola, what color comes to mind, please?
Right.
Red.
Excellent. When
Red.
I'm coming with Coca-Cola, I have subtle red. MTN, subtle yellow. Okay? It's something that I do. All right? When I'm going for an interview with a company, their brand colors, I wear them just subtle, just to, it's a subtle psychological thing, right? The second thing you need to be clear on, when going for an interview, you need to know about the company. You need to know about the industry and about the competition. And you also need to know about yourself. So look at your CV before you go. Always ask, who am I meeting with? You can ask, there's nothing wrong with that. And what do you do with that information? Go and look for the person on LinkedIn or the people on LinkedIn to get an understanding of who they are and what's their background so that you can connect with them. I'll give an example. These are things that, trust me, when it comes to my career, I'm very, very conscious about my career. These are things that I have done. I went for an interview with a multinational that gave me an offer. And in the final stage of the interview, they said you'll be meeting with the MD. So I went to look for the MD. They did not even tell me his name. I just used LinkedIn. I searched for MD of so. And I was able to find him. And I realized that he was from Mexico. And lucky for me, the month before this, I had gone to Mexico. Of course, of course. During the interview, I made sure that it came up some way. And that is how the interview was relaxed. And he was asking, what did you do in Mexico from there? And I got the offer. There are ways you can see. Even all these interviewers, they are people. It's always easier to connect with somebody that has something mutual with you. Okay? So that's something that you can do. Practice the different types of questions, value-based questions, scenario-based questions, the technical questions, performance-based questions. But a key thing that I advise everybody to do, before you go for the interview, a lot of us don't do this. Go and practice the questions you want to ask at the interview. 5 top questions. You might not have time to finish them, but prepare 5 questions you want to ask. You may just be able to ask 3 or 2, but have those questions in mind. There are some interviews I've gone for when I got the job offer, and I asked about 7 questions because of how well I was flowing with the GM. And because of the information I had, the research that I had. So the GM was interested in my questions and my challenges, and that's how it became a conversation. An interview does not have to be, what's your name? This one. It should be a conversation. You should be flowing back and forth. Remember, the contract is between you and the company. It's not slavery. So it means that as they are interviewing me, I am also interviewing them to know if they are the right or wrong fit for me. There are offers I've received that I have rejected because during the interview process, I realized this is not the sort of company I want to work for because their values do not align with mine, or the culture of the company, or the company is not a modern employer. Or I saw that after reading through their financial statement, this company is going down. And when a company is going down, one of the things they will do to protect their bottom line is to lay off staff. So I said, you know what, I'm not going to go ahead. So those are things you need to look at. Read about the company, their vision, their mission, their values, their projects, their culture. I'll give an example. If you're going for and do like a trade visit, if you're going for a company within e-com industry, you're going for an interview with Junior, go and check what is Conga doing. Go and check. What are the other companies? Okay, let's call it Udala now. What are they doing? Go and check, okay, what about globally? Amazon, how are they doing? Have some information. Then the FMCG industry. When I was coming for my interview at GSK, I went to where GSK operates, which is called the trade. I went to the pharmacies. I went to go and check the price of GSK products. I checked the price of GSK's competition. I checked what promotion is GSK doing on TV, radio, and what is their competitor doing? What can I learn from it? Same thing. All these companies that I tell you that I've gotten offers from, that is exactly what I did. I went into the field visit or trade visit to go and check, do research about them and their competition. Let me give you a tip. Do you know that when you go to SPA, for anybody, is anybody here interested in FMCG industry? I've got about 5 minutes left, so let me wrap up. Is anybody in this session interested in FMCG, working in FMCG? I want to give you a tip. A lot of
Yes.
people don't do. Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Do you know that when you go to SPA, where they have the price, where they have the price of the item, did you know that under that there's a number that they will write 53062, and there's a date attached to it? It is telling you how many units of that item were sold last week. Did you know that? So if I'm going for an interview, let's imagine I'm going for an interview with Cadbury for Bonvita, I can go into SPA and see how many units of Bonvita were sold last week, and I can compare with Milo, I can compare with Ovaltine, I can compare with all the competitors for Cadbury, and that gives me a good idea of what is going on with their market share. And using that, I can go into an interview prepared, knowing what is new and what is really in the industry. When you go to Spar and ShopRite, I'm sure you see those promo girls that come and meet you, that are wearing shirts, that say, Madam, come and buy toothpaste. Oga, we have this promo. I can also go into Spar and ShopRite to see what are the promotions that my competition is doing. That is what I need to know when I'm going in for an interview. I need to know what is the competition doing, no matter the industry, and be very clear. Is our pricing too high? I got for an interview where the MD asked me, what are we doing wrong? Tell me. And thank God I had gone to go and do all of that research. So I told him, I said, the price is too high. When I compared versus, the guy was surprised I had this information. I said, the promotion you're doing doesn't make sense. Somebody that is well suited to the promotion, of course, I didn't use those terms, forgive me. I said, the promotion that you're doing is actually quite good, but I think we can improve this by doing so, and so. So that's some of what you need to be aware of when you're going for these interviews. You need to have all of that information. Many of us have interviewed people before, okay? And I ask them, because these are questions you get asked at the interview. What do you know about us? What do you think we're doing right? What would you? And the person told me, I'm sorry, I don't know. It's my uncle that sent me the link. These are things I've seen at interviews. Dress for the job you want. Look professional and presentable. Think about it. What are my counterparts wearing to work? Let me try to sort of fit in. Be formal. Wear polished shoes or heels, neat hair, nails. If you're going for a physical interview, take a small bag and a notebook. I always write down things that are being said in an interview. Can I tell you why? You might have 2 stages or 3 stages of the interview. Some of the information that they'll give you in first stage, you will still use it in second and third stage as part of what you're going to use as your talking points. Many people miss this out. And guess what? Let me tell you a secret. I went for an interview once with an Italian company, And they gave me so much information. They really believed in me. They gave me so much information about the category. It was gum and like gum and candy category. They gave me so much information. This is the size of the category. I wrote everything down, but I never proceeded with that company. Many months later, I went for another interview with a company that I was not interested in, as in that same category. And guess what? That first interview has given me all the information I need. Thank God I did not just nod. I wrote everything down. I have them here in my book. So always note things down, as much as you can. Arrive 10 to 15 minutes before, no later and no earlier. And I want to say this. If you are running late, let them know. Your interview is at 9 a.m. Okay? It's not at 9 a.m. you told them you are running late. One of my old bosses told me, she said, work starts at 8. If you send me a message at 8 to say I'm running late, you are not running late, you are late. Okay, running late when you call 15, 20 minutes beforehand. And don't come before that. You know why? Most companies, let's say it's 9 o'clock, the interviews are 9 o'clock, people are ready to receive you 10 minutes before. If you now come at 8 o'clock, which I've seen with many candidates, I have to now look for a room for you. I have to leave my meeting. You displace me. You are displacing my energy. I studied psychology, right? I'm being very clear. You are messing with my energy for the day, and I may not go into that interview with the right outlook. So please, 10 to 15 minutes before, no later, no earlier. If you get there early, you can stick around in your car or find an eatery nearby. Okay? And leave enough time to get there and do your research, do your question and your SWOT analysis, understand the 7 P's of the business, practice the common interview questions. You know the questions that are going to come out. Tell me about yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses. What's your 3 to 10-year vision for yourself? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you know about us? Why do you want this job? Why should we pick you? How much do you want? These are questions that you know will come out. Practice them. I'm sure you might have some questions around this. The next sort of question you need to practice are the scenario-based questions. An example is, how would you handle a difficult colleague? Tell us a time when you went out of your job description to achieve a business objective. You answer these using the STAR approach, STAR. You articulate the situation. You tell them what was the task, what action did you take, and what was the result. Okay? And then you also need to I want to give a tip here. You need to be prepared for out-of-the-box questions. I've gone for an interview before. Interview. And the interviewer asked me, tell me the secret of your success. And I said, I've never been asked this question before. And she said, she was a South African woman. She said, girl, I'm not ordinary. But the truth is, you can get out of the box questions. So what can help you here is research and intuition, being well-versed in current affairs, understanding the category. And if you can, join a group like Toastmasters. Toastmasters teaches you how to deliver on the spot. I'm sure we must have a Toastmaster here. On the spot responses to out-of-the-box questions that you may not be ready for. I went for an interview once for a head of marketing role, and they asked me to pick from a small bowl, different rolled up pieces of paper, pick one, open it, read it, and answer. And the question was, if you were to export Nigeria to the world, what would your marketing campaign be? So it was around marketing Nigeria to the rest of the world. Okay. So let's talk about the last session, the last bit of this. Asking questions at the end of your interview. There are 3 types of questions: bad questions, great questions. Okay. Now, bad questions are things like, what time do you serve lunch? Do you have a staff boss? How much do you want to pay me? I always laugh at myself. A long time ago, one of the questions I asked at an interview was, do you dress down on Fridays? Very silly question. Those are bad questions. Good questions. Good questions are what everyone will do. Every other candidate will ask the same question, so you will not stand out. Okay? Questions like, what's your training and culture like? What are the opportunities for training and development, promotion, blah, blah, blah. Those are generic questions found on the internet. Great questions are questions that cannot be found on the internet. These are questions that you develop by yourself and you customize for the company. You can ask them questions about innovation, regulation, raw materials, future. Now that we're in the pandemic, You can create questions geared towards that, geared towards inflation rate, geared towards e-commerce, okay? Geared towards the drop of the naira versus the dollar. There's so many questions you can develop. When you go for those bases, when you go and visit competition, you will see good things there that will allow you to ask questions. You can ask, I realize that Milo is doing this promotion, Milo is available in sachets. How come we are not available in sachets? Is that something we're looking to do? Because we notice that the common man doesn't earn enough to be able to purchase the big pack. Those are wonderful questions. You don't ask generic questions that anybody asks, okay? Like I said, great questions aren't found online. And don't ask questions about what's the vision of the company. It's available on their website. Even culture, what's the culture of the company? Available on your website. What is the training? Available on the website. They have a section there called career. Everything is there. So why ask those kind of questions? You can ask a question and say, I can see the vision of the company to do more, is to help consumers do more, feel better, live longer. So what approach are you taking in this pandemic to solve this so and so? Instead of asking them what's your vision. Does that make sense? Okay? Give your full attention, be present throughout the interview, maintain eye contact, smile, nod your head when you need to, write notes. Okay? Like I said, once you get there, announce your arrival. If you are running late, let them know ahead of time. See, one trick and one tip I would say to end this is that on your way to the interview, use Google Maps. So Google Maps will be telling you the ETA. The interview is at 9 o'clock. Google Maps will be showing you an ETA of 8:45. Okay? Once it changes, and it cannot, if it is 8:45, and all of a sudden by 8:30 show you 8:58, call them and say, it looks like I'm running late. You don't call people, your window to call that you're running late is 30 minutes before. Okay? 30 minutes before, you should be within at least 10 to 15 minutes of the venue. Once it elapses that time, you know you are running late, so let them know. Immediately after the interview, send them a thank you note and summarize your insights. Thank you so much, Gladys. It was great to meet you and the team. I greatly enjoyed the interview. I learned so much about the company. And I must say, I commend your efforts around the water replacement therapy that you have just developed. Looking forward to hearing from you in the next 2 weeks as promised. Thank you so much. And then you follow up every 1 to 2 weeks on your offer. Be positive. It's not over until it's over. Okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Fiyin, for this session.
Thank you so much.
Moses, please, can you take the questions?
Thank you very much.
This is really powerful, very powerful moment, and I was soaked up in the conversation that I was actually seeing myself in front of an interviewer, and I'm kind of
Sorry,
ready to
is
do
someone
that.
speaking? I can't really hear.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you a bit better now.
All right. So I was just going to talk about the questions we have on hand while we expect other people to send in their questions. So along the line, we have like 4 questions. Are you with me?
Yes, I can hear you for 4 questions.
All right. So Hannah Ebele asked, is it appropriate to show open to work on LinkedIn, especially if you are still working with an organization?
Please, can you take that again? I couldn't really hear you.
Is it appropriate to show open to work on LinkedIn, especially if you are still working with an organization?
Sorry, please give me a moment, please.
Okay, so the question is, some on LinkedIn, you can actually use this open to work image. So someone is asking, can we use open to work even while the person is still working in another organization?
Fantastic. So the truth is, I won't advise that you do that, because there's two types of open to work. Right now, my profile can show open to work without being on my picture, right? So I would advise that you do that instead of putting that logo up. I hope that helps.
Okay. Hello. Am I out? Can you hear me now?
It's very faint, but we'll see.
Okay, can I ask a question, please? Hello.
Hi,
Go ahead,
yes,
please.
I can hear you, but you may need to speak up.
I actually posted a question on the chat, and my question goes this way. Your LinkedIn, it's profile, not for any job. People just come in and see. Why it should always be tailored to meet?
Is someone speaking? Because I can hardly hear.
My name is Bruno. Can you hear me?
Yes, Bruno, can you be more audible?
I was asking.
Get close to your speaker.
I heard so far. So it's advisable to meet the job requirements. Is that what it is?
We still didn't hear that question.
Okay, so sorry guys, we can't hear ourselves. Some people are unmuted, and I think they are distracting the class. So they need to mute themselves so that those that want to talk, can be clear.
Alternatively, we can post the questions in the chat room, so it's easier.
I have a question for Fiyin, please. Can I go ahead?
Yes,
Can I go
please.
ahead, please? All right. My question is this: I have more than 15 years of work experience, and then I've actually worked in more than 6 or 7 different organizations. And I was just wondering, how is it possible for me to streamline my resume to 2 pages? For instance, I have to put in my achievements. I have to put in my qualifications. I have to put in my experiences and what have you. I was just wondering, 2 pages might just not be possible. I don't know how you can help me out here.
Okay, thank you so much for that. That's just a brilliant question, and I get this all the time. And I want to give you a typical example. When I was doing my master's, we had a career director that showed us an MD CV, and this MD had about 40 years experience, but his CV was on 1 page. Okay, so what I'll say to you, sir, is that even with 15 years experience, there's some parts of your experience that you don't have to put all the details, right? So even on my CV, we're just working for the last, how many years? Only my last 3 roles have all the details and achievements. Every other role before that, I created a section called Other Previous Employment. So I just put the company, the role, and the date. Everything that predated 2012, I just did it that way. So those are some of the ways you can actually, oh, my video is not showing. Those are some of the ways that you can actually get around this.
Oh, great. Okay, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Is everybody hearing me now? My name is Bruno.
Go ahead,
Yes,
Bruno.
we
Please
can
ask
hear
your
you.
question.
Asked before, but nobody heard me. And from what I got, your LinkedIn profile, the information on your LinkedIn profile should be constant. Information on your CV should be tailored to the job requirements that you are applying for. Is that correct?
Okay, so thank you so much for that question. I'm not sure if I wonder if I'm alone, but I lost a lot of what you said. There was a lot of interference. But can I assume that you said your question was around tailoring your role every single time?
I said, from what I gathered from this training, your LinkedIn profile should be constant. Is that correct?
Who are you?
Hi, is it possible for us to have the moderator collate the questions, because there's background noise interfering with the questions? So is there someone that can collate them as people type in, because I'm losing his question, and just articulate it?
So, hello, Fee. Am I audible now?
Yes, I can
me?
hear you.
All right. I think his question is that, so your LinkedIn should be constant, while your CV should always be tailored to the job requirements.
Oh, fantastic. Yes, so your LinkedIn should be constant, exactly. However, what I'll say is that you need to already be clear on what you want. So, for example, you cannot say, because I've met some people, when you ask them what job do you want, they'll say any job, Jare. So they want procurement, they want marketing, they want HR. No. So you need to be very clear and decide which one it is that you are going for. And that is how you now dress your LinkedIn. Same thing with your CV. Even your CV would have been tailored to your role, procurement or HR. The only difference now is when applying, you just update a few things, but the framework is the same.
Okay,
Bruno.
Let me just just a quick one for you. Thanks for this very detailed and engaging session with us. My question has to do with where you said one should follow up when you are through with the interview. I mean, it's okay if you send a nice, nicely worded message to say thank you for the opportunity and all that, but having to be going back to the interviewer every two weeks, I don't know. I feel strongly that when you have value, people would come for you. So if you go for an interview and you've created value, you've done very well. To me, if you keep on asking every two weeks, I'm not sure. If I'm the interviewer, which I see, around a lot, they begin to feel that you are either desperate or, you are disturbing them, and then you become a nuisance. My thinking that maybe you just send the initial mail to say thank you and all that, but to be reminding them constantly, I don't know. I have some concern there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I really love that. And this is a question that comes up all the time. And I'll just share two personal examples with you. Number one, my mother worked with ECOWAS for about 20 years. And she told me that when she applied to ECOWAS, she knew she did well in the interview. And this was many years ago, back in the 80s or 70s, that she knew she did very well, but she never heard back from them, and that she was growing weary. No mobile phone at this time. I'm not sure if we even had landline. So she said one day she decided to go to the ECOWAS office in person to ask, what happened? Why haven't they gotten back to her? And she said when she got there, the director she was to report to said, Madam, we have been looking, ECOWAS people, they are francophones. Madam, on te cherche depuis, which means we've been looking for you for a while or whatever, right? And we were just about to ask somebody else come and resume for this role. Now we sent your offer letter to you, and they said the dispatch rider could not locate your house. Okay, so that's one. And she, based on that, she said, thank God she went in there and followed up. Another example I will give is this GSK that I'm working at. I did my final interview with GSK November 2016, but I did not get my offer from them till January 17th, 2017. Why? Apparently, they go through a background check. The university I went to for my master's did not respond to them with my reference to confirm that I attended that uni. So the line manager was growing weary and tired and actually wanted to, let's just go for the second person. But I kept touching base with them to say, just checking how things are, when I'll hear back. And they kept on giving me the information that, sorry, we're just waiting for a background check and so on. It doesn't spell desperation because I'm not out of a job in any case. I'm still working where I am, but I need to know what the situation is so I can make my plans. What I have found from being on the seat of the recruiter and the other side is that if you follow up once in 2 weeks, every day I receive 300 emails, right? So in 2 weeks, which is 10 working days, I would have received 3,000 emails. If I get one email from you out of 3,000, what's that percentage? Less than 1%. You're not a disturbance to me, trust me. But again, this is my own personal experience as a candidate and as a recruiter. And what I've also heard from people, one needs to be top of mind, as well with the company that you are going for. Because it also shows interest, it shows passion, and it doesn't necessarily mean I'm desperate. It could be I have other offers on the table and I want to know where you stand so I can make my decision, which has been the case for me in some instances.
That's fine. I look forward to meeting people like you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Seems we don't have more questions, or do we have anyone with questions again?
There are lots of questions in the chat.
Well, the questions, many of them have actually been answered.
I have a question to ask.
Someone asked, hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Okay, someone asked if it's right to put a digital passport on your CV.
Digital passport photo, you don't need this unless you want to be a model. If you're going for a corporate job, again, your photo has nothing to do with your ability to deliver on the role. So you don't need to include your photo unless they ask for it because you are going for a security agent job or you are going for a job as a model. But normal 9 to 5 corporate white collar job, you don't need your picture.
Fiyin, I would like to, should I call it a favor or something? Do you do CV review, or is there any way you can help the Rome Business School community to do such a thing? Just a favor anyway.
If I will come in here, yes, she does that. We'll get into relay your information across to her. So we'll compile all these and send to her. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all for holding on till now, but you will agree with me that we have exceeded our time. We will compile all the questions.
If we can have our contact details, please.
Yes, you will. We will compile all questions and send across to her. Then we will share as feedback her contacts as well to you. Thank you all for joining this session. As I mentioned before, the moderator was Mr. Moses Olagoke. He is the HR manager of Greater Washington Capital, and he's also IHRM student of Rome Business School, Nigeria. While the speaker is Fiyin Toyo. We've heard a lot about Fiyin. Fiyin is the East and West Africa manager for GlaxoSmithKline Consumer Health. And she's also the founder and lead of Empower You. So you can see her online. She's on LinkedIn, she's on Instagram, she's everywhere. You would see her online, Fiyin. So you just check her up, you'll see a lot about Fiyin. So thank you all for joining this session. The country director sends his regards. The founder also sends his regards. Our faculty members send their regards. I would call on the moderator to say his final words. After him, I will call on the alumni chairman to give us the closing remarks. Mr. Moses, please, your final words.
All right. I just want to encourage everyone that has had, that is in attendance, that should not just let it end there. So what you've heard from Fiyin, it's a very valuable information that you need to just go out there and take action, so that when next we are going to come together, we will be able to compare notes and be happy we are here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was an amazing session. I will agree with that. It was an amazing session from start to finish. Let me call on the alumni chairman now to give the closing remarks. Mr. Davidson, please. Can you hear me, Davidson? Okay, maybe I'll just call on any random person. I'm seeing Mrs. Shoemimo. I'm seeing Vivian Menyaga. Sorry, I'm not pronouncing the name well. Can somebody just take the closing remarks?
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, I want to thank Rome Business School for this wonderful session. It's been really, really wonderful all the way since we started this program. This is another very interesting and very important session. And speaking on behalf of other students, the way I'm feeling tonight, I feel lucky to be part of this training. The presenter, Madam Fiyin, is very, very knowledgeable in this field, and we appreciate all that she had delivered today. Not only for our own good, even for our children to coming out from the university, they need to know all this. This session tonight had really opened our eyes to, you know, to the way things are changing and how things have evolved. You know, the way we used to write our CVs in the past is not the way that things are acceptable now. So this is wonderful. I want to say thank you on behalf of everyone present tonight to be part of this class. And even Rome Business School for all the wonderful packages. I say thank you on behalf of everybody. And I hope we're going to get the presentation into our email boxes latest tonight or tomorrow. Thank you so much, RBSN. God bless everybody.
Amen. Thank you all and have a sound sleep. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.